Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 7th episode of Stags in the Studio and the final episode of the 2024 calendar year. Today's guest is the Deputy Director of Athletics that was hired in October of 2019 after serving as the Senior Associate Director of Athletics for Marketing and Communication for the 3 years prior. Our guest today oversees day-to-day operations in all aspects of Fairfield Athletics and game day productions. Works to make sure that promotional work for the teams is done as properly as possible, and works in more focus with men's basketball and men's lacrosse as a secondary sports administrator. Our guest has been here at Fairfield since April of 2015. Since he's been here, attendance and engagement has grown exponentially due to his efforts. A major contributor to the main broadcasting system in Fairfield, and a huge member of the start of Stag Sports Network. He previously worked at Pace University as the Assistant Sports Director for External Operations. Our guest graduated from Pace University and played baseball during his tenure from 2006 to 2009, and during his graduate season, he actually joined the golf team. With a long list of accomplishments, our guest today is none other than Zach Dayton. Zach, welcome to our studio.
Hey guys, how are you? Happy to be here.
Doing well.
So we're just kind of curious to start. How did you get your jobs right after college? Obviously, a very heavy sports background, two-sport athlete throughout your college career. So how did you get started at Pace and then kind of your transition to Fairfield?
Yeah, it was really, it's a lot of really good opportunities. I attended Pace, was there to play baseball, get a business degree. Halfway through my college career, started to think, okay, I'm probably not getting drafted for the pros, so I need to start to come up with a strategy. So I went into business administration. I thought I wanted to manage a small business. My parents worked in small businesses in the tourism industries back in Cape Cod. And I started working facilities and event management in the athletic department. I was taking care of the baseball field at the time. The athletic director came up to me and said, "Hey, would you like to get paid for this?" Absolutely, that'd be great. Because I just like taking care of the field. It's kind of part of what being a baseball player is all about. So that got me into working on all of our facilities and working events and games and concerts. And then I was leaving my undergraduate career, and about 2 weeks before commencement, I told my boss, like, "Hey, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. Anything else? I want to stay in New York, and I continue to work with you." And they had a marketing coordinator position that paid $18,000 a year in New York. And I said, absolutely, let's do it. Let's figure it out. And that got me into the athletic department. It was my first real marketing experience and opportunity outside of some concentrated marketing classes. I worked with our athletic director on our fundraising golf outing for the athletic department that happened that September. Organized it, helped run it. It was a fundraising event, my first fundraising activity as an athletics professional, which I do a lot of that for most of my career now. Ended up playing pretty well, and the golf coach was like, "Would you like to play golf in grad school?" And I was like, "Well, that'd be great." So, again, just taking advantage of the opportunity that was in front of me. Played in the golf team in grad school. I was easily the worst golfer on the team. I was there for primarily comedic relief, and it was a great experience. It was nice to in the grind of grad school and working a ton to play a little golf and kind of balance that out. So grateful for that opportunity, and then that led to my first full-time job. I was an assistant athletic director at 22, 23 years old. It was really a goal of mine. And then I was given more opportunity at Pace. I even started the sports marketing major at Pace in partnership with the business school. And then, I interviewed for a couple jobs, but I had a connection to Fairfield and had actually been on campus in 2004 as a baseball recruit, and loved the school. I was a New England guy, and got more opportunity at Fairfield. So, I've been at Fairfield since 2015. This is my fourth job in athletics in 10 years. I've moved up. I've grown in responsibility throughout my time here. Our team has grown. Our brand has grown. Our attendance has grown. And I've come to understand that I like to be in places where you can build and grow, and definitely be in a place where you can leave it better than you found it. That's been Fairfield for me.
Yeah, so now you're Deputy Director of Athletics. You were named that in October of 2019. When I look at the title, not a lot of people I feel like know what a Deputy Director is, because I personally, when I'm at working Fairfield games, I see you doing everything, and it feels like you're not even watching the game, although you are. You're just doing everything. You're running around, making sure Stag Sports Network's operating, making sure everyone's having a great game day experience. So what does your day-to-day responsibilities of a Deputy Director kind of look like?
That's a great question. So I serve as our VP for athletics, Paul Schlickman, his number two. So I oversee and manage a lot of the day-to-day operations of our athletic department. Primarily a concentration on our external operations. So that's marketing, tickets, broadcast, digital and social media, licensing, and brand, like all those components. And a lot of that comes forward on game day in Mahoney Arena, especially where you and I see each other quite often, and we see each other throughout the year.
Yeah.
So it's managing all those elements, really making sure that the people that work with and for me have the tools and resources to be successful. So take Mahoney Arena, for example, with a basketball game. We want to sell a ton of tickets, make sure the ticket buying process is great, make sure people have a really good time, that the food, beverage, parking, et cetera, everything is a really good experience. And we have transformed what game day is from what it was 10 years ago to something that is really vibrant, something that's really special, and something that's still growing. Like our attendance is growing, but it still needs to be better. So I'm really there on game day, kind of like plugging in wherever the most attention is needed. But you're right. I try to watch some of the games, but I can't say in confidence that I watch the entire game. Especially with basketball or a lot of our sports where there's a lot of operations around the game. So I'm looking at line management. I'm making sure tickets are scanned. I'm making sure that our marketing staff has what they need. That fans are happy, that all those things. But I've kind of grown into the job, and the job has expanded significantly since I've been here. So I manage all of those items, and then at the same time, I work under the direction of Paul Schlickman. So there's a ton of projects and things that we're working on to grow athletics as a key component of how Fairfield can grow into a nationally prominent institution. And I also work with a ton of our coaches, women's soccer, men's, women's golf, baseball, the basketball programs, and lacrosse programs pretty closely, and then I work with all of our other programs on different projects and needs. So very much a generalist. I grew up in the industry as a generalist, and I'm here to support the people that are around me every day to produce hopefully a version of Fairfield that's even better than it is today. And today it is tremendous, but I still think the future is bright, future forward.
Yeah, we were talking about how our strength of schedule has increased in the last 10 years, how, we keep expanding, and you're absolutely right in the fact that we're going to keep continuing to grow in different ways. And so in terms of the facilities on campus, our Walsh Athletic Center, the Leo D. Mahoney Arena, what's it like to do, game day operations in there? What is it like, for the staff? How has these facilities accommodated you in being able to be successful?
Fairfield is, an incredible place, and we've had a lot of great capital projects take place in the last certainly 8 years. The capstone of that really being Leo D. Mahoney Arena, and everything that we do is tenfold what we used to. I say all the time, Mahoney Arena is a community building. There's programming and an experience for students. There's a program and experience for faculty, staff, alumni, community members, family members, all of those things. So our goal is to provide a best-in-class experience that once we have confidence, once we get new people into the doors, that they're going to come back. They're going to have a great time. We're going to listen to our fan base. We're going to make strategic decisions to constantly improve the fan experience. So everything, it's changed tenfold. We've got paid halftime acts. We've got a number of sponsor integrations that you're seeing this year for the first time. We spent a lot of time on sponsorship. So there's so many different elements that are important. The facilities infrastructure is incredible. When I got here, Rafferty Stadium was brand new, and that's a great game day experience. We made enhancements to the baseball field. We made enhancements to several facilities. The Walsh Athletic Center is really our core kind of day-to-day operational area. That's really important. It's great to have a lot of our department together under one roof. That's great. I think we wish we had everybody under one roof, but it's very effective for us. But every facility that we've upgraded has been great, and then we've got aspirations of continuing to improve that future forward with facilities that we haven't touched in a while. So our future's bright.
Yeah, and you mentioned one of those aspirations. You brought back Red Sea Madness in fall of 2022, and it has certainly been a huge success. With the arena, but also like we mentioned, like Rafferty Stadium and them hosting a Premier League lacrosse game this past July. How has Red Sea Madness's growth, in a sense, in your opinion, created not only a better game day experience, but for the Fairfield community, but also a better student experience at Fairfield, as Logan and I are direct beneficiaries of what Fairfield Athletics is becoming?
Yeah, so I can answer the Red Sea Madness question in kind of in twofold. So in the pre-Mahoney Arena days, we did a Red Sea Madness event. This was long before you guys got here. And it was a basketball party in October, similar to like a lot of other schools. And then we also had a FUSA concert around the same time. And we made that strategic decision to blend those two together. So it'd be like an hour of a basketball party, then be an intermission. And then in Alumni Hall, we used to have a lot of concerts. We had folks like T-Pain were in there. It was great. It was a very cool experience. So that was like our initial blend of Red Sea Madness since I've been here. People for decades are very passionate about their student section experience, especially the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the Red Sea. So once we brought on the second part of that answer and kind of building off of that enthusiasm is when we built Mahoney Arena, it was very intentional to focus on the student experience, about trying to captivate that Red Sea energy future forward to bring that back. And we're working with students and trying to build a relationship with them and provide an experience that they're really receptive to underneath that Red Sea umbrella. We want people to be really passionate about that. We've also spent some time, in the merchandising side of Red Sea as well. We've got Red Sea coffee now. You'll see Red Sea Madness T-shirts and merchandise that's coming full circle. So it's a term that our population is very passionate about, and now we're working to grow that. So it's certainly a work in progress, but something that's really important to us.
For sure, I think as the community keeps to build, and I see tons of kids in the stadium now, and I think that's a huge testament to the marketing, to how everything has gone with Leo D. Mahoney Arena, the students that make kind of game day what it is. So I kind of want to flip the page to more the administration side, to Fairfield University President Mark Nemec. How does it, make your job easier with a president that has such a big focus in athletics? And we see it. I saw him at soccer, a ton. That's his big thing. He's always courtside at basketball. So how does that support help you guys just stay motivated and do your jobs to the best of your ability every single day?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Working with Dr. Nemec has been fantastic. He's extremely competitive, dialed in, very detail-oriented, has a tremendous background and knowledge of sports, and he has very high aspirations of what the power sport can do, especially at Fairfield. So to have his support is instrumental. Yes, you're right, he's very present at games. He's traveled with us a ton to several different championships. So that is very unique within the president landscape. To have somebody that is so supportive is tremendous and has really set us up for success in this first 7-year term here, but we'll continue on that track future forward. So I can't say enough about the support that he has provided athletics and the vision that he has for the institution. And he's done tremendous things here so far, and the future is very bright. We're very excited collectively as an administration. We're very excited about the future of Fairfield University, for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned the athletic administration things with the upward trajectory, but also from the university perspective as a whole, with acceptance rate, dwindling from what it was. I think when I was a freshman applying, it was 55%, and now it's all the way down to, like 20, 30.
This last class was, I believe, 33%.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. But, both Logan and I are sports media majors, and I firmly believe that, Fairfield's taking a huge step forward in offering sports classes, whether it's sports media or sports business, which was a recently declared major. And, there's so many opportunities to get involved within these majors on campus. And I think it's evident in the large number of students, working within the athletic administration department on campus, whether it's doing what we're doing or working with the Red Sea, as there are many interns and people who are a part of that as well. How excited, honestly, are you to see the rise of athletics in Fairfield, as we've seen athletics and media marketing collaborate in many ways within this past year, and what are you hoping for in the future with it?
It's a really good question. I am really excited about the enthusiasm that we are seeing from our students as it ties to those that want to work in sports, that are studying, that are in a sports-driven academic track here, and that are taking advantage of the opportunities to work directly with Fairfield Athletics. That is a change from years ago when I got here. We didn't have many interns. We didn't have many folks working at broadcasts. We didn't have many opportunities to how we do broadcasts, as you guys know, is significantly more robust than when it was 10 years ago. So the opportunities have expanded. The enthusiasm from our student population has expanded. But I'd even go as far as saying that future forward, there will be even more opportunities to work in sports on our campus. I'm working right now on kind of the next version of the Stag Sports Network and getting more and more student-driven internship and mentorship opportunities and just really hands-on work experience on campus, whether that means more cameras, more laptops, more internships, more opportunities to work different games, expanding the platform of certain broadcasts to have more cameras or, to add replay, all those things. It's incredible work experience, and I can't endorse our students enough to reach out, to connect. We're going to a ton of classes now talking about these opportunities. And that's just on the broadcast side. Sarah Ratchford, our associate AD for marketing and revenue generation, she's got at least 10 interns and that per semester working every day to build relationships with students, to get them to come to games and execute a really exceptional fan experience. So I'm really bullish on the fact that you don't have to leave campus to get exceptional work experience if you want to work in sports. We have those opportunities, and it's a good starting point. I'm bullish on it probably, if you think about it. My first sports experience happened on the same campus where I was getting my degree. So it's ingrained in me, it's important to me, and now we're providing those experiences to our students here at Fairfield as well, and I think they're only going to expand future forward, which is really exciting.
Yeah, no, you mentioned, as a direct intern of Stag Sports Network, the skills you learn, at least I can speak for the media side of things, being able to work a camera, working graphics, doing replay operator, it offers you so many versatile skills and assets when, in the future, they're going to, people look on, it's oh, wow, you did that only in college, and it's, it's amazing how invested in how much of an opportunity you truly get to work in college athletics, and it's something you absolutely shouldn't take for granted. You mentioned kind of this program expanding in a sense and maybe new jobs even offering with another asset of Stag Sports Network, as you alluded to. Is there something in specific that you're working on, or is it kind of still in the works a little bit with that?
I would say still in the works, but what I'm relating to is, in a perfect world, we have so many trained students for things like our athletic broadcasts that we have a number of paid interns that are playing critical roles in our broadcasts, that are completely dialed in, that are you're trained and dialed into our broadcasts to where it's a heavily student-run operation and the quality is extremely high. So that's what we're working towards. Our media center is super helpful. We have a number of freelancers in the community that help us out. But in a big picture scenario, those are great opportunities for our students. And you're right, it is great experience. I wish I did that as a student as well. If I knew how to run a replay or a camera or graphics when I was a student, I think my resume and my knowledge base would be that much greater. I wish I did that. So it's really valuable experience. It's I think we've all had those internships where it felt like a lot of busy work, or it didn't resonate, it wasn't that exciting. This is great stuff. And maybe just because I don't sit still very well and I like to be out in the field doing stuff, but there are exciting opportunities that are really good for our students, and I'm trying to maximize that experience and build a strong student population. It's growing, but I still think we can do better.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the hands-on approach. A lot of people like myself are visual born. They like doing rather than watching. And I think, Stag Sports Network and all of Fairfield, athletics, they encourage you to do that. So for anyone listening, I absolutely encourage you to take advantage of an opportunity to work internship, because the skills you learn from it are incredibly valuable and can take you a long way.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I think as a sophomore like myself, it's super exciting to kind of hear about what could be in my future and, the job experience that you get without leaving this campus and also before you graduate, right? So that's super exciting, and I recommend for anybody listening to try to take advantage of that. And I think moving forward, just to the student to faculty relationship, I ask this to almost every one of our higher administration members. How do the professors make you guys' life easier every single day? We hear our professors here at Fairfield are excellent with our student athletes, and I see it every day. So how do they help you out, especially when they're on the road in season, and how do they accommodate you guys and make your life easier every single day?
That's a great question. We have a highly decorated, tremendous faculty here at Fairfield, and we lean on them quite a bit, because you're right, the student athlete, the daily life of student athlete is different, and you got to travel, you're going to miss some classes, you got to make up some work, that sort of thing. So the ability to have that be a partnership is really, really influential. Tom Murray, our FAR, which is our faculty athletic rep. Each institution has a designated faculty athletic rep on their campus. Is an absolute rock star. Dr. Murray is a very good friend and incredible colleague and ambassador of Fairfield Athletics. So there's countless examples of how important that relationship is and how our faculty are super supportive of our student athletes. It shows. Our student athletes do very well in the classroom, and they go on and they do incredible things in the world. And that's our 500 student athletes. That's something that we're really proud of, and a segmented population of the entire Fairfield population that gets an incredible degree, has a great experience at a academic institution that is thriving, and they go on and make a gigantic impact in the world. And then they stay connected, which is really important. I say to everybody, our alumni base, they are dialed in. As I go to maybe 50 alumni events a year, and they're always asking, how are the teams doing? How are student athletes? Who needs internships? Who can I hire? I've got this finance position open, whatever it is. I think it's one of the most special things about Fairfield. There's a lot of really good things here. How the alumni network that you guys are going to graduate into is best in class. I really truly believe that. And how did that all start? That started with a first class Jesuit education here at Fairfield.
And you mentioned the alumni network. It's amazing how many alumni there are on coaching staffs right now. You got Johnny Raj on Fairfield's men's soccer, Malin Iglesias for field hockey, and you see people wanting to come back. It's that experience that comes back to you, and people do want to come back to it. It's very inviting and welcoming. What is it like for you to see, I guess now in athletic administration, seeing alumni walk back through those doors in a different capacity and carrying out coaching?
It's a great question. It's pretty special, to be honest with you. We have several alums that are very much a part of our athletic department, and it's really special. And I get asked this question a lot, like, what do you like most about Fairfield? And there's so much to be proud of and to enjoy here at Fairfield, but I gotta say that the people are the top of the list. I get to work with great people every day, incredible teammates that see how special Fairfield is. So at the core of that, there's a lot of alums that are in that category, right? We've got several in our department, and they know, they're Jesuit educated. They were taught here on campus, and they grew up here on campus, and now they want to give back, and they want to make their mark on the next generation. So it's really, really special here. But the people make the place. I know it's a common phrase, but it really rings true here at Fairfield. It brings people back. I think it keeps people here as well. Like, it's a good place to work. It's a good place to be. If you fully ingrain yourself in the community, it's something that really resonates. I know myself and several others, like you guys see me here. I'm here on the weekends. I'm here at night. I'm eating the Tully quite a bit. I'm there all the time. Like, if you fully dive into the environment, it's a really, really great place to be. So I think our alums know that better than any of us, and they've made the choice to come back here and to give back and to help Fairfield in the next chapter, for sure.
Yeah, I think when we talk about Fairfield, the first word that comes to mind is community. And so speaking of kind of that line, what makes your job the most rewarding? Is there a specific thing that you think of, like an event, if a production goes well, or you have like a great day at the office? What, when you drive home at night, keeps you coming back to Fairfield the next morning?
I'll give you two answers, because my job is kind of split in half. There's the student-athlete-centric side, where I'm working with student-athletes and coaches every day to achieve new levels of competitive excellence, right? So I'll give you a tangible example. Like, our women's soccer program this year is a program I've worked with for several years. They had an absolutely historic season, phenomenal student-athletes, and I was able to experience tons of great moments with them throughout the year. I was with them at Texas A&M in August, and I was with them at Georgetown at the end of our journey in the NCAA tournament. And that, to me, and the support that I can try to provide in that situation is really rewarding. Building programs and building athletic teams to help maximize success is really there. That's been a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of really good journeys with that. Another one that's very memorable is I've worked with the baseball program for several years, and in 2021 we were incredible, great regular season, and then we lost to Ryder in the MAC championship here on campus. And then the following days, whenever the selection show was, we got that first at-large bid, and it was euphoria. Everyone was just fired up. It was awesome. And then we went to Texas and we won 2 games in the NCAA tournament, first 2 wins in school history in baseball in the NCAAs, and played Texas Sunday night on ESPN. Like, that's a dream, especially coming out of COVID. COVID was so hard for everybody, and it was just an incredible experience. So there's the team side of that experience that's very rewarding. And then on the staff and administration and what I'll call like the business development side of this, like what we've done in Mahoney Arena to grow out, how we sell tickets and the volume of tickets that we're selling and how we engage students and how many more students are coming to games and how we build that experience and like just the buzz around campus and in the community is something I'm really proud of because, Mahoney Arena is authentically Fairfield. It's in the middle of campus and it's, like I said earlier, it's a community building. So some of the stuff that we've done there, I'm just super proud of. Like I said, I want to be at places where I leave it better than I found it, and I'm a builder by nature. So if I can help build athletic programs by supporting our coaches and student athletes, and I can build out, if we can physically help the building process of our operations, that's really fun. If I worked at a place that was like, hey, we're great, we don't need to grow, I probably wouldn't be as effective. Like that doesn't fill my cup every day.
Is there a significant turning point in your time at Fairfield when you realized the potential this school had to become what it's become? Is there, you mentioned the women's soccer team, and we talked to Elle Scott, going to Texas A&M and seeing that remarkable journey. Is there like a specific turning point within your time at Fairfield that you realized we are on the cusp of maybe achieving national prominence and we're absolutely on the right trajectory? I know there was a front office sports award given this past October, being mentioned with schools like Oregon, Clemson, powerhouses in collegiate athletics. That is something that is earned, not given. And so is there like a particular moment that you still, like when you look back on, just greatly appreciative of and maybe consider a reason for the prosperity that Fairfield is becoming?
I'm not sure there's a specific moment, but I'll try to concisely explain this in tiers. So when I got here in 2015, I knew there was a lot of opportunity on the marketing brand side of my job. And I mentioned that in the interview. And I was like, this is what I think. I'm a New England guy. I was at Fairfield in 2004 on my recruiting trip. And then I'm seeing Fairfield is awesome, but I don't know if at the time we were representing ourselves in a digital space the way that we could have. So we did. We had a lot of fun. FairfieldStags.com has grown significantly. Our digital and social media has grown significantly. Even the fun project with gave really Lucas the Stag a remodel and did that. So like there was a lot of fun there, right? And growth and build. I'm like, okay, so that's an opportunity, right? And then Dr. Nemec came in 2 years later. My boss, Paul Schlickman, was hired a couple months after that, and I completely agree with their vision, both institutionally and athletically. And I was like, okay, it's another wave of enthusiasm and opportunity. I'm like, okay, I'm completely bought in. What they're saying is how I view Fairfield as well. How can we run with this? So that would be an inflection point, probably when they were both hired. But it comes in waves. Like I saw the opportunity when I got here, and I think that helped me get the job initially. Is like conveying, like, hey, there's a lot of opportunity here that there's things that I can visually see that we can move forward with that is authentic to Fairfield, that is what people are thriving to move towards. And then when they were both hired, that was another wave. And then we've been building ever since. We've done a ton of fundraising. We've built a lot of facilities on campus. We've grown our infrastructure. And all during that time, we've had a focus on our culture and our process and the care that we have for our student athletes and coaches. And that has fueled a lot of athletic success. And we won the MAC Commissioners Cup this past full academic year for the first time since 2011-12. And so that was like, okay, we're doing the right things, we're growing, and we've got our culture in the right spot. The front office Best Athletic Department Award was really flattering. You're right. To be in the conversation with Wake and Clemson and Oregon and others was super flattering. So that's a wave of success, and that's a lot of people moving in the same direction and all being bought in to the same vision. And now we've got this great opportunity for what's next, right? And how we can continue to grow and get better and win more games, win more MAC championships, winning NCAA tournament games, and using athletics as a vehicle to push Fairfield University further into the national landscape. So it's come in waves. There's been great inflection points. I've also been very lucky here. Like, it's better to be lucky than good. And I've been at the right place at the right time, and I work with great people. So it's a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, it's a great answer, and I think when we talk about Fairfield, we are starting to get to national prominence, but I'm excited to see where it goes in the next 10 to 15 years and what steps we can take to get there. So I understand, you work with students every single day, more specifically student athletes, and so what do you want to be remembered as when student athletes come back in 20 years and think, Zach Dayton, what do you want their message to be as your, I guess, long-lasting legacy?
That's a really hard question to answer. You ask everybody that?
Yes.
I do, actually. It's pretty much everybody's question.
Wow. It's a lot of pressure.
I even get asked it too from time to time.
I asked Andrew the other day.
Oh, wow. That's deep. Great question. I would probably say that I would like to be remembered as helpful. Like, I try not to come into any conversation as like, certainly I'm never the this is the way we've done it person. I'm not the this is the way we have to do it person. I said, like, let's move forward together. I am here to support our student athletes and coaches. So I am here in a supporting role. So this isn't about me. This is about everybody else. So I would like to be remembered probably as helpful. It's probably not a very deep or eloquent or like, it's not an SAT word, but like I would like to be remembered as somebody that's helpful and supportive, that was always there, that was when times were tough, right? Like, we've talked about a lot of the good times, but before good times is probably there's a lot of adversity, or there's a lot of challenge, or there's a lot of hard work and rock to push, right? I would like to be remembered as somebody that is in the bunker with our student athletes coaches every day, like moving towards something that's really big and that we've never done before. Like, that would be really impactful for me. And that's, again, I think you asked earlier, what resonates with me when I drive away from here every day and keeps me coming back the day after that is that, like, a movement towards something that's bigger than yourself. So that's probably my answer, is probably helpful and then, and supportive. And when times are tough, he was there. When times are great, he was there and ready to lend a helping hand. That'd be really important to me.
Yeah, we mentioned, holidays are right around the corner, athletes in full swing. I kind of like, my last question at least, why should we be excited for this upcoming year of Fairfield Athletics? Basketball's in full swing. We've had 3 championships this past fall with field hockey, women's volleyball, and women's soccer and spring sports around the horizon. Why should we, the Fairfield community, but even for collegiate athletes as a whole, be looking forward to Fairfield Athletics come 2025?
I got to correct you there. We got an individual MAC women's cross country champion.
Yes, I forgot Hannah Snade. Absolutely phenomenal.
Hannah crushed it this year. Ridiculous season with us. So super fired up for her and that journey. So 3 team championships and 1 individual in the fall is an incredible feat. So we feel we got, so if you split the year into thirds, fall, winter, spring sports, we had a great fall. In the winter, we're doing a really good job. Swimming and diving is competing at a high level. Jake's doing a great job there. Both basketball programs are in a good spot and are about to dive really deeply into their conference slate. And then our spring teams have had really strong falls, which is great. So I'm very excited for baseball, softball, men's, women's lacrosse, men's, women's tennis, both golf programs, both rowing programs. Like, we're in a really good spot. Softball, I think, will be great. Like, we have a lot of momentum. So what can we expect in the new year? I think we're laser focused on comprehensive excellence within athletics. So we're going to do really good in competition this year. I'd love to see that translate into more MAC championships. I would love to see that translate into another MAC Commissioner's Cup. That would mean the world to us. I would love to see, our kids do so well in the classroom. The Fairfield student, whether you're a student athlete or a student, just is so committed to academics. It's incredible to see. So I'd love to see a strong finish academically. And then, we're going to have a lot of fun too. We're going to have a ton of fun at games. There's a ton of events surrounding games. We do have the PLL coming back next summer in July. I'm working on that project right now. So there's a little bit of everything coming at us in the new year. Some facility enhancements, I'm sure, are on the way. So there's a lot to be excited about if you're a fan of the Stags right now. And
run with us.
Right, exactly. Run with us. So I couldn't be more excited. Obviously, I sit in a seat that gives me an inside look every day on like all the work that's being done. So I'm excited for our fans to see all that work kind of translate into competitive success.
Right on. The next Fairfield University athletic event is December 18th at 7 p.m. against Central Connecticut State. A lot of big things happening in the 2025 school year, but for us, the 2024 campaign, Stags in the studio, this is the final one. Andrew Jameson, all the way on the left side of the table, myself, Logan Rundy, your assistant sports director, Zach Dayton, thank you so much for being here. Happy holidays to everybody involved. Safe travels home if you're traveling from Fairfield all the way back to your home state. And have a great holiday season. We will see you in 2025. Goodbye, everybody.